Beloved, you are more powerful than you know. There is a divine intelligence that listens, that responds, and that loves you unconditionally. You are not here to struggle. You are here to co-create. And when you learn how to ask from a place of love, worthiness, and faith, the universe cannot help but say yes. Not because it is being generous, but because you finally believe you are worthy to receive. It's every word you speak, every thought you think, every silent whisper in your heart, it all matters. The universe is always listening. Not with judgment, not with conditions, but with infinite love, compassion, and attention. You are never alone in your prayers, in your pain, or in your hope. There is a presence that walks beside you even when you forget it's there. That presence hears you, not just when you speak loudly, but even when your soul can only cry silently in the dark. You see, the moment you desire something, the energy of that desire sends ripples through the fabric of life. The universe doesn't wait until you find the perfect words. It doesn't wait for you to earn your worth. It hears you the moment your heart speaks. That means you don't need to shout, you don't need to beg, you don't need to explain or justify what you want. You only need to be honest. You only need to be real. Your truth is enough. Many people believe they have been ignored, forgotten, or overlooked by life. They believe their dreams have fallen on deaf ears. But the truth is, life is always responding. The universe answers every single time. It just may not answer in the way you expect. Sometimes what feels like a delay is actually divine timing. Sometimes what feels like silence is protection, and sometimes the no is simply a not yet, while the pieces of your miracle are being arranged behind the scenes. You are being heard when you cry and no one else is around. You are being heard when you say, I can't take this anymore. You are being heard when you whisper, please help me. You are being heard when you say thank you, even though you're still waiting. The energy you send out becomes your request to the universe. If you speak words of lack and fear, the universe will reflect back more lack and more reasons to fear, not because it wants to punish you, but because it is neutral and mirrors what you hold most frequently. If you speak words of faith, of healing, of love and hope, then life begins to rearrange itself to reflect that vibration. This is why your inner dialogue matters so much. You don't have to be perfect in your thinking, but it helps to become conscious of what you're repeating to yourself. Are you telling yourself that you're too late, that nothing ever works out for you, that you're unlucky? The universe hears that too, not with blame, but with compassion. And it gives you more of what you believe is true. Not because you are broken, but because you are powerful. If you want to change what you receive, change what you send. Speak with the authority of someone who knows their words are sacred. Speak to yourself with the kindness you would offer to someone you love dearly. Every I am statement you make is a declaration. Every affirmation you say is planting a seed. Say, I am worthy. I am safe. I am healing. I am loved. I am ready. When you speak like that, not just once, but over and over again with feeling and belief, the universe begins to echo it back to you. You start to attract people, situations, and opportunities that match that frequency. And you realize that you were never being ignored. You were just learning how to tune your signal to the right channel. Even your silence is heard. Even when you feel numb, disconnected, or lost, life hears you. Your higher self, the part of you that never forgets your divine purpose, continues to speak to the universe on your behalf. It keeps calling in the experiences you need for your growth and healing. And so often, what looks like loss or confusion is actually your soul being guided towards something better, something more aligned with your true essence. You don't have to say it perfectly. You don't have to do it right every time. You just have to know that you matter, that your presence matters, that your voice, yes, your voice, is important and sacred and powerful beyond measure. The more you trust this, the more you'll see evidence of it. The more you speak lovingly to yourself and about your life, the more the universe mirrors that love back to you. So speak gently, speak confidently, speak with the knowing that you are co-creating with a loving universe that never leaves you, never judges you, and never stops listening. You are always being heard. You always have been. And you always will be. The universe responds to energy, to intention, and to the frequency behind your words. It is always listening, always attuned to what you truly mean, not just what you say. That's why clarity is so important. When your mind is scattered, when your desires are vague, when you're unsure or doubtful, the energy you send out is mixed. And what returns to you reflects that same uncertainty. But when you become clear, crystal clear, about what you want and why you want it, you become the energy around you shifts, the path opens, life begins to flow. Too often, people ask for what they think they should want. They ask from a place of fear, asking for a relationship so they won't be lonely, or money so they'll feel safe, or success so they'll feel worthy. But what they truly want is love, security, peace, and joy. Until we understand the real desire behind the surface level request, our vibration stays cloudy. Asking with clarity means going deeper. It means getting honest with yourself. What do you really want? And are you willing to ask for it, not from desperation, but from inner knowing? Confusion blocks the signal. It's like trying to tune into a radio station with static. The message gets lost. You might say, I want love, but underneath that you're thinking, I don't think I deserve it, or love always hurts me. So the vibration isn't clear. The ask is mixed. And life reflects that mix back to you, not to punish you, but to help you become aware of what you're really broadcasting. Clarity comes when you pause, breathe, and listen inward. What is your heart truly asking for? What would bring peace to your soul? Not what others expect of you. Not what looks good on paper, not what would make you feel enough in someone else's eyes. Clarity is quiet, it's deep, it often whispers. But once you hear it, it feels right, it feels light. It feels like truth. When you ask with clarity, you no longer need to force or manipulate outcomes. You don't have to obsess over every detail. Instead, you state your desire clearly, like a sacred intention, and then you allow it to unfold in the perfect way at the perfect time. You no longer doubt whether the universe will respond. You know it will because your request came from alignment, not from confusion, not from fear. Saying, I want a better life is too vague. What does better mean to you? More freedom, more love, more time for yourself? Be specific. Instead of, I want to feel happy, try, I want to wake up feeling energized and grateful for my day. Instead of, I want more money, say, I am open to receiving consistent financial abundance that supports my well-being and purpose. The clearer you are, the easier it is for life to deliver. Clarity also means releasing contradictions. You can't ask for love and then push it away with thoughts of unworthiness. You can't ask for abundance and then live in constant fear of lack. You can't ask for peace while holding on to inner chaos. The universe responds to the whole of who you are, not just your words, but your beliefs, your energy, and your actions. So your clarity must come from alignment within all of you. If you're unsure of what you want, take your time. There's no rush. Sit with yourself, journal, reflect, pray, meditate, listen. You don't need to know everything, but you do need to know enough to take the next step with intention. The universe will meet you there. Once you take one clear step, the next one will appear. You don't need to see the entire path, only the piece you're being asked to walk today. Asking with clarity doesn't mean controlling how things will happen. It means trusting that once you state your intention with truth and love, the details will be guided. Clarity allows you to let go of how and when and stay rooted in why. When your why is strong and pure, the energy behind your request becomes a powerful beacon. Let your words reflect your truth. Let your prayers be honest. Let your intentions be guided by love. Clarity doesn't come from force. It comes from connection. It comes from being still enough to hear your soul speak and brave enough to honor what it says. When you ask with clarity, the universe has no choice but to respond. Because clarity is faith in action. It's you saying, I know what I want, and I trust I am worthy to receive it. That kind of clarity moves mountains. That kind of clarity makes miracles possible. There's a powerful shift that happens when you move from needing something to being grateful for it even before it arrives. Gratitude is a magnetic force. It tells the universe, I already believe, I already receive, I already trust. When you ask with need, you often do so from a place of lack, fear, and worry. The energy behind the request says, I don't have this, or I'm afraid it won't come. But when you ask with gratitude, you're no longer pleading. You're allowing, you're aligning. You're receiving before the evidence shows up. The difference between need and gratitude is the difference between resistance and flow. Need creates tension in the body. It feels heavy, desperate, uncertain. Gratitude feels open, trusting, calm. One energy tries to force, the other surrenders and allows. The universe listens not just to your words, but to your vibration. When you say, please bring this to me, I need it, you may unconsciously be affirming that it's missing. But when you say, thank you for this blessing that is already on its way, you affirm that it's done, and life begins to rearrange itself to match that truth. This is not about pretending. It's not about ignoring reality or denying what you want. It's about choosing a higher state of being, one that calls in miracles. Gratitude is not a performance. It's not a trick. It's a sacred act of alignment. It says, I trust life. I trust divine timing. I trust that I am worthy to receive. In that space, you become the version of yourself who already has the thing you desire. And when you become it energetically, the physical reality begins to reflect it. Every time you give thanks, you are strengthening the signal between your heart and the universe. You are speaking a language that the spiritual realm understands completely. Gratitude is pure, it is unconflicted, it holds no resistance. That's why it is so powerful. That's why it works. When you wake up each day, take a moment to give thanks for what already is. Your breath, your body, the roof over your head, the lessons you've learned. And then go further. Give thanks for what is not yet visible, but deeply known. Thank life for the love that is coming, for the healing that is unfolding, for the opportunities that are finding you. Say, I may not see it yet, but I trust it's on its way. Thank you for aligning me with all that is meant for me. When you ask with need, it can create anxiety. It makes you question, doubt, and often wait impatiently. It can lead to a feeling of separation from your desire, as if it's out there, far away, and you must chase it or earn it. But when you ask with gratitude, you're already living in the frequency of having. You're not separated from it. You are one with it. And that is when manifestations come naturally, easily, beautifully. Think of it this way. Need says, I don't have enough. And that becomes your dominant vibration. Gratitude says, I already have so much, and I'm excited to receive even more. And that becomes your invitation to abundance. The more you appreciate, the more you attract. Not because the universe rewards you, but because you become energetically aligned with expansion, love, and flow. If you find yourself in a moment of need, pause, breathe, shift. You are allowed to want things. You are allowed to desire growth, healing, love, success. But let your desire rise from joy, not panic, from trust, not pressure. The moment you shift into gratitude, everything changes. Your energy changes. Your mind softens. And in that openness, the answers begin to come. The guidance begins to flow. The path becomes clear. Gratitude is a form of asking that doesn't chase, it attracts. It says, I am ready without fear. It says, I am open without demand. It says, I already feel the blessing. And that feeling is what creates the reality. You don't have to wait until your life looks perfect to give thanks. In fact, gratitude before the evidence shows up is the key to transforming your reality. So the next time you ask for something, whether it's healing or relationship or job or peace of mind, do it with the energy of gratitude. Say, thank you for showing me the way. Thank you for loving me enough to guide me here. Thank you for the blessing that is already mine. Gratitude dissolves fear. Gratitude erases doubt. Gratitude opens doors that force can never push through. So ask with joy, ask with trust, ask with appreciation. Because when you ask with gratitude, the universe can't help but respond. Even if you've been abandoned, betrayed, ignored, or made to feel invisible, none of that changes the eternal truth that you are deeply, unconditionally loved. You are loved by the universe, by the source that created you, by the divine intelligence that shaped every cell in your body with intention and care. When you ask for what you desire, remember who you are. Not a beggar, not a burden, not someone trying to prove their worth, but a soul made of love, asking love to meet itself. Too often, we approach the universe with the energy of someone who feels forgotten or unworthy. We plead, we bargain, we say, if I just do enough, maybe I'll be good enough. But this is not the voice of someone who knows they are loved. This is the voice of someone who has forgotten. And forgetting doesn't make you unlovable. It just dims the power of your request. When you ask as if you are loved, everything changes. Your tone changes, your energy softens, you stop trying to prove and start allowing, you stop asking if it's possible and start trusting that it is. Love is not something you have to earn, it is something you are. And when you ask from that place, the universe hears you more clearly because you're finally speaking its language, the language of love, trust, and divine worth. You wouldn't hesitate to ask for help from someone you knew adored you. You wouldn't be afraid to say what you truly want if you knew the listener cherished you. That's how the universe listens to you, with care, with infinite patience, with a desire to see you flourish. There's no punishment waiting for you. There's no judgment, only alignment, only energy, only love, responding to love. So ask boldly, not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence. You don't have to whisper your dreams. You don't have to minimize them. You don't have to shrink yourself. Speak as if your words are sacred, because they are. Speak as if the answer is already in motion, because it is. Speak as if you are loved, because you always have been and always will be. If your heart desires peace, say, I allow peace to surround and fill me now. If your soul longs for healing, say, I am open to healing on every level of my being. If you crave love, say, thank you for aligning me with a love that honors me, reflects me, and grows with me. There is no need to beg for what is already meant for you. The universe doesn't need convincing. It needs connection. And when you're connected to love, your requests don't come from emptiness. They come from fullness, from knowing, from the deep inner understanding that what you desire, He's already seeking you too. So many of us were raised to believe we had to earn approval, affection, or attention, that we had to do more, be more, give more, just to be worthy. But this old belief does not belong in your spiritual conversations. It does not belong in your prayers or affirmations. You are allowed to ask simply because you are loved. The things you desire, peace, joy, abundance, connection, they are not rewards for good behavior. They are expressions of the love that already exists within you. You don't receive them because you've been perfect. You receive them because you are aligned, because you remember, because your energy becomes a match for what you already are. So, before you ask, pause. Take a breath. Place your hand on your heart. Remind yourself, I'm loved. Let that truth settle into your cells. Let it shape the way you speak, the way you think, the way you dream. Let it infuse your requests with gentleness and strength. When you ask as if you are loved, you let go of timelines. You stop chasing and start trusting. You stop needing to control every detail and start flowing with divine timing. You stop questioning your worth and start remembering your power. You become magnetic, not because you're doing something special, but because you're finally being who you really are. And that version of you, the loved you, the open you, the trusting you, is the one the universe rushes to support. That version of you doesn't just ask for miracles, that version lives them. To go ahead and ask. Ask for healing. Ask for clarity. Ask for joy. Ask for abundance. Ask as if you are loved, because that love has always been your home. This is the part that so many struggle with. You've set your intention, you've spoken your desire, you've done the inner work, but then comes the waiting. And in the waiting, the mind begins to race. When will it come? How will it happen? What if it doesn't? But asking is not about controlling. It's not about obsessing over the details. It's about trusting the process and surrendering the timeline. When you cling too tightly to the when and how, you are actually blocking the very thing you desire. Why? Because attachment is rooted in fear. Fear that it won't happen. Fear that you're not enough. Fear that the universe isn't listening. And fear creates resistance. It cuts off flow. It says, I don't believe this can come unless I manage every step. But life is far more intelligent than we can ever imagine. It's orchestrating things behind the scenes that you don't yet see. Things are shifting, aligning, moving, preparing. Just because it isn't visible doesn't mean it's not happening. You were never meant to control the when and how. That part belongs to the universe. Your part is to be clear in what you want, to align with the feeling of already having it, and then to release it with faith. That doesn't mean you do nothing. It means you take inspired action when it feels right and let go of the obsessive need to control every outcome. The more you trust, the more room the universe has to deliver in ways that often surprise you. Think back to times in your life when something wonderful happened unexpectedly. It probably didn't come exactly when you thought it would or in the way you expected, but it came, didn't it? Maybe even better than what you had asked for. That's the magic of releasing the when and how. You allow a higher wisdom to take the lead. You stop limiting the universe to your human understanding. You say, I trust you to deliver this in the best way for me. And you mean it. Holding on to the when and how keeps you stuck in waiting energy. And waiting energy is rooted in lack. It says, I'm still without it. But when you release the timeline and the method, you enter receiving energy. And receiving energy says, it's already on the way. I trust its arrival. I welcome it with open arms. This is where true miracles are born. not in the forcing, but in the flowing. The flower does not rush to bloom. The moon does not force its rise. Nature knows that everything unfolds in perfect timing, and so must you. There is divine order in everything. What feels like a delay is often divine protection. What feels like a detour is often divine redirection. What feels like silence is often a sacred pause while the universe prepares something even more beautiful than you imagine. And the truth is, sometimes the how is none of your business. You're asking for something bigger than you've known before, so it makes sense that the delivery method might be beyond your current awareness. Let the universe be creative. Let life delight you. Let go of needing to figure out every single step. Your job is to stay in the energy of trust, gratitude, and faith. That's where the receiving happens. Each time you catch yourself stressing about when it will come, pause and breathe. Remind yourself, I am not in control of the timing, but I am in control of my energy. Shift into a place of peace. Affirm that you are safe, that everything is unfolding for your highest good, and that what is meant for you cannot miss you. That affirmation alone can release so much pressure. And when your mind says, but how can this possibly work out? Don't answer with logic, answer with faith. Say, I don't need to know how. I just need to trust that it will. That's what surrender looks like. That's what allows grace to enter. Releasing the when and how doesn't mean you've given up on your dream. It means you're confident enough to let it come in the best way possible. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer beg, you receive. You no longer wait in worry. You rest in faith. So ask clearly, align fully, act when guided, and then release. Let the universe surprise you. Let the miracle come in a form you never could have imagined. And trust that it always shows up on time, never late, never early, always right when you're ready. Because when you release the when and how, you open the door for everything you've asked for to find you. Not what you hope, not what you wish for, not what you pretend to be for the world. You become what you deeply, consistently, and emotionally believe to be true about yourself and your life. Your beliefs are the foundation of your reality. They are the silent architects behind your thoughts, your choices, your habits, and the energy you radiate into the universe. And the most powerful truth is this: your beliefs are not fixed. They are learned, they can be unlearned, and they can be rewritten. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you're telling a story about who you are. You might say things like, I always mess things up, or I'm not lucky, or I don't deserve love. These words may seem harmless, but they reveal the beliefs that shape your world. Life listens to those beliefs. The universe responds to them, not with judgment, but with reflection. If you believe you are unworthy, the situations that show up will continue to mirror that belief back to you, not to punish you, but to invite you to choose differently. What you believe creates your vibration, and your vibration shapes your experience. A person who believes they are capable, loved, and abundant walks through the world differently. They speak differently. They carry a quiet confidence, and that confidence magnetizes opportunities, relationships, and blessings that match their inner state. Not because they're better or more deserving, but because their belief allows it in. This is why healing your inner world is so important. You can set goals, make vision boards, say affirmations, but if your core belief is still rooted in fear, unworthiness, or lack, you'll keep running into the same walls, not because you're doing it wrong, but because the universe is asking you to go deeper. It's asking you to believe in a new version of yourself, one who is whole, one who is worthy, one who is already enough. You don't manifest what you want, You manifest what you believe. Wanting without believing creates longing. Believing without doubt creates receiving. So the real work is not about chasing the dream. It's about becoming the version of you who already has it. If you want love, become someone who believes they are lovable. If you want success, become someone who believes they are capable. If you want peace, become someone who believes peace is possible. It starts with awareness. Begin to notice the beliefs you repeat to yourself each day. Are they rooted in love or fear? Do they empower you or limit you? Every belief you hold was planted at some point, maybe in childhood, maybe through experience, maybe through culture or comparison. But just because something was planted doesn't mean it must stay. You can uproot it. You can choose a new seed. And you can water that new belief with intention, repetition, and love. Beliefs are formed through repetition. The more you think a thought, the more real it becomes in your mind. That's why affirmations work, not as magic words, but as new neural pathways. When you say, I am enough, again and again, your mind begins to question the old belief that says you're not. When you say, abundance flows to me easily, your body starts to relax into a new possibility. The words you repeat become the truth you live. But you must believe it with your whole being. You must feel it, embody it. Let it become your identity. This is not about pretending to be someone else. It's about remembering who you truly are underneath the fear and doubt. You were born whole, you were born worthy, and you are allowed to return to that truth at any time. Sometimes the beliefs that hold us back are so deeply rooted, they don't go away overnight. That's okay. Be patient with yourself. Healing is not about perfection. It's about progress. Every time you catch yourself thinking a limiting thought and choose a more loving one, you are rewriting your story. Every time you show up for yourself with kindness, you're shifting the core of your beliefs. That is powerful work. That is transformation. So today, ask yourself, what do I believe about myself, about life, about love? And are those beliefs helping me or hurting me? Be honest. Be gentle. And be willing to believe something better. Because when you begin to believe that you are capable, supported, and deeply loved, your entire world changes, not because the outside suddenly becomes different, but because you do. And when you change, life rises to meet the new version of you. You become what you believe. So believe in healing. Believe in joy. Believe in miracles. Believe in yourself. And then watch how beautifully life responds.